All right, we are live, so everything should be working now. I need to refresh this just to make sure I can see what you're seeing, because that's how we keep all this in order. But yeah, welcome, folks. We're gonna let a couple more people stroll in here before we open the box, because I'm sure everybody's here to watch product get open, which is always silly, but a lot of fun, and hopefully we turn it into something. The other thing is, too, I'm not gonna worry about prices so much while we're opening it. Mostly because I have an editor that's going to come in behind me. We're going to edit the footage, and he'll add all the prices and everything else, and whether we did good or bad or whatever. Like, I'll let him decide what that looks like. But I am trying to work with an editor now, so y'all get more content on the channel. So hopefully that impacts y'all, and it's meaningful. So. Kind of like before, I was able to do some box openings or I go through collections and show cards I got or whatever. And I know for some portion of the community, for whatever reason, y'all get hung up on price. A lot of times I'm using it to tell stories and have fun and just be excited about cards. But, if I can work with an editor who can go back and fill all that stuff in, it's going to be pretty cool for everybody. Also, same guy I'm working with. I'm about to start doing some Commander footage. I think I've been telling you all about that. I'm going to have them edit some of the Commander footage for me so we can start having Commander content up on the channel as well. Because that's one of the things, right? If you do Commander content now, it's got to be, you got to be able to show all the cards larger. You got to have some life totals showing and audio's getting all that stuff, right? So hopefully the new editor can help handle it and make something awesome for y'all. Welcome for y'all that are hopping in here. About 8 or 9 of y'all just rolling in here real quickly. So we're going to wait till we get a couple more bodies and then we'll start into the box opening. Don't want people to show up and miss it, unfortunately. So I'm going to give them a couple of minutes. So maybe go grab you some beverage, whatever your beverage choice is. I got water here because I'm lame. But I did have an energy drink earlier. By the way, hashtag not sponsored, but like Rogue Energy. Got like a sample pack from them and the stuff's actually very good. So maybe check them out. Maybe I need to reach out for a sponsorship because the stuff was actually very tasty. I was very surprised. So I may have to reach out and get hooked up by them. Because I see a lot of different energy drinks out there, and I'm just like, nah, it's probably just some junk they're trying to just get people to order. But that actually was pretty good. Now, whether it gave me energy or not, I'll find out later. But it tasted good, I know that much. But yeah, like I said, get situated. Maybe you're ending your work day here, and you want to just hang out with us while we chill and open some packs. So hopefully it's entertaining for you. Haven't opened a box in a little while, it feels like, but I think we did open a box of Crimson Vow. So it wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it's been maybe because like Christmas has happened and New Year's has happened. That's been a thing. But the other thing too is just Kamigawa as a whole. I think there's a lot of really good cards in this set. I think there's stuff right now that might even be undervalued because people haven't quite figured them out yet. Like we know some are good, but we're still learning. I think every day with this set, it feels like somebody comes up with a new deck and it's like, oh, but what about this card? And you kind of see the trend shift for like 24 hours while people are trying out that new card or some creator had a new deck. I've run into some stuff I've posted already on the ladder, which is kind of funny when you see somebody playing with like a weird deck and you're like, hey, that looks like my deck list. So that's actually becoming a thing, which is kind of cute. But there's a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, we still have of the 13 or 14 decks we put up in the preseason, there's still 9 more we haven't even played yet. And I still have another 2 or 3 y'all hadn't even seen. And then I've added 4 more since then. So there's a lot of decks coming to the point like, hey, Matt, how's it going? Things are going pretty good today. One of the things I wanted to ask people is like, if there were, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to kill myself making content here, but if there were days where there were 2 gameplay videos, or let's say a gameplay video and a box opening, or a box opening and, I don't know, a hidden gems video, because I have a hidden gems video edited I haven't posted yet. Is that still worth it for y'all to watch, right? Is that too much content if there's 2 videos per day? Even whether they're of the same thing or different thing or whatever, right? Because I'm kind of curious. I don't really know how that works for people. Hey, thanks for subscribing. Much appreciated, friends. So like I don't really know, is that a good thing, bad thing? Like, am I overloading y'all if I put that much content out there in a day? I'm really curious because I don't want y'all to get bombarded with like we did during the preseason, but that's because we were putting up a bunch of different like deck tech videos, and that was kind of part of the whole preseason process, right? We do that all the time. And those are pretty short, right? They're all like 10 to 15 minutes. So they're 10 to 12 minutes for most of them. So they're pretty easy to consume. But if it's a piece of like longer content and a like 20-minute video, right? Is that too much? Because y'all are getting notifications, and it's one thing to get one notification like, oh, hey, there's a new gameplay video. I can watch that during my lunch break or whatever. But it's like, oh, there's another video and it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Like, I don't know if that's worth it for y'all or not. Or should I just save that for the next day? You know, put some in the tank and then just slowly dole them out. Or is it more important because y'all want more deck lists or more variety of stuff if I can record multiple in a day? Right? So I don't know. Like I need your input is what I'm saying. Like it's an important thing as far as like the direction of the content. But it looks like enough of y'all are kind of all getting in here. We have about 20 viewers. So let's go ahead and switch over here and we will there we go. Now y'all should be able to hear me. I don't know. Like sometimes whenever I reset things and there's updates in different programs, stuff just quits talking. So I got to make that work. Jim says works fine for him, but be careful, don't over yourself. Well, no, that's what I'm saying, Jim. Like that's one of the benefits of me working with a with a editor now, is I'm able, hopefully, moving forward, to produce more content. Because right now, literally, every single thing y'all have seen on the channel to this point has been 100% me. Like I've had to go now. Admittedly, I've gotten help for like an artist to produce maybe like my transition scene or something like that, right? But generally, it's been me producing everything, right? So this is the first time I've been able to start considering, can I do more of a variety? Because what y'all don't know, actually, believe it or not, when you see, hey, Asaveru, Anther, welcome. Like when you see a gameplay video, that takes me less time to edit than just one of my like, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Like one of the Hidden Gems videos, right? Because I basically have the gameplay takes longer as far as structure, recording the footage, and everything else. But when I do like a special video where we're talking about something behind the scenes or whatever, that's a whole new thing. So each one comes with its own thing where I have to like go and find visuals for it, or maybe I'm needing to put a graphic on screen showing a chart, or I have to do some like text or something, right? Those take a little bit longer because like there has to be more of a flow, a structure, a plan, whatever. So I can't do as many of those as I would like to do. But now that I have an editor, all I have to do is send it to him, give him the notes of what I need, let him go ham with it and figure out whatever the final product needs to look like. And then I can just put like the opener and closer on it and load it up, right? So I'm hoping that works out for y'all to be able to get some more stuff. But yeah, see, that's the thing. Like Hidden Gems, I know is going to get less views, but it seems like the people who like it really like it, right? So that's kind of the trick why I can't spend a bunch of time on it, because I know those videos are going to generate less money. But in well, views, which in turn fewer views equals less money, right? But if I have an editor who's faster at doing it, do it for me, then I can put that up and whatever. Now, admittedly, that means I lose money on those videos throughout the month because I'm paying an editor to do them. But in the long run, if it's great for y'all and y'all become, I don't know, what's the best word? Evangelist of my channel, telling other people about it or whatever, that helps with the long-term growth. You like the updates and transition to the animation? Oh, wait till y'all see what's coming. I have a whole new setup for streams. Like that one's just a simple touch that I put in here because it was easy. But yeah, I've got a whole thing coming. I've got new emotes coming. Like by the time we roll through the end of March, like things are going to be fire for real. Let's see. Keep some in the tank. Yeah. Good luck on the opening. I hope you pull some sweet Planeswalkers and Dragons. I love this set. I don't blame you, James. There's a lot of people that are really excited about this set. Watch just whenever I have time, so the more content, the better. But I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Hey, what's up? What is that? 1331 ball? Is that like a code I don't understand? What's 0331? I feel like I should know what that is. First time seeing me live? Well, welcome. You know what? This is probably better, so y'all can see me while I'm talking to you. Haha! See, now I'm back on screen. See, I come ready. I've got these things. I need to use them. Y'all probably get tired of seeing me. You know what? That's the one thing. Being real, like I thank y'all for not getting tired of listening to me or watching me, because some weeks, like last week, I put out so much content, like literally hours upon hours, and I appreciate every one of y'all that really do watch and enjoy that stuff. So thank you for that. But anyway, let's crack into this box here, because there could be some fun stuff in here. We'll find out. Let me open this way. And this is a sealed box because people... would you believe I actually had people that accused me of, like, rigging packs or boxes so it looked like I opened better on camera? Like, which is so dumb. Like, I don't care if I open better or worse. I'm going to use a big chunk of these cards or set them up for trade or something anyway. Like, if I open a lower value, I don't care. If I open a higher value, I don't care. It's literally irrelevant to everything I'm doing right now. But the problem is we get so many people that are hung up on price that they think it's a big deal to open more or less. Like, I truly don't care. Like, I really don't. The main reason I'm going to be showing prices or have the editor put in prices is because there's some percentage of the viewership that cares. I really don't. Hopefully get some of those full art lands foiled. They do look pretty cool. I'm generally not a full art land person. I think we do it too much in Magic. I think it's a little bit overplayed. However, I do think the ones for this set are very good. I think they're flavorful. I think they're fitting. They don't feel like a gimmick, I think is the thing. That's not my style. Definitely not my style at all. But, you know, generally speaking, I appreciate when they don't feel overly gimmicky. When they feel purposeful, then I think we should be doing full art lands. Unfortunately, we've gotten full art lands in almost feels like every set for I don't know how long. But like when we got the Constellation ones for Theros, right? Where they were just like the space scene in the background and you had the big mana symbols, wherever. That was pretty cool. I like those. They were fitting for the set, whatever. When we got the ones actually the recent ones, for Innistrad, didn't care for those. Like, it was just weird black and white lands. Like, I know some people dig it. I'm not telling you you're wrong. But for me, it was just like, we're kind of just doing the same thing, and we just blacked out the color to just say we did it, right? That didn't feel as good to me. Maybe have your editor make a top 5 or 10 hidden gems template video. Then you could easily change the background and cards. All you need is a voiceover. I'm not sure I follow what you're saying there, coaches. The top 5 or 10 hidden gems template video. Then you could easily change the background. Well, each video is going to be complete. I think I kind of get what you're saying, but like the subject matter of the hidden gems are going to be different sometimes. Because remember, like we just did the last one where we talked about like life counters and stuff, right? That was like half the video. It wasn't even just cards. So, because hidden gems is a little bit of everything. It's about showing people where value comes from in different parts of your collection. So, yeah. Man, I'm going to have to dub some of y'all with moderator swords. Y'all can help with the chat so we can get these bots out of here. The blackout ones were definitely missed. Yeah, I think so. They just didn't do enough for me. It's like a draw, cracked a bunch of Kaldheim and did not getting the big hitters. But yeah, I could see that. All right, cool. Let's get into this box here, see what we can do. I feel like a little bit out of focus here. That's weird. Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's open it. Let's do this. Let's get in here. Yeah, it can be like that on packs, right? Like sometimes you're gonna hit big, other times you're gonna get nothing, right? That's just the way it is. That's the gamble. What is this? All right, so we got this thing they inserted here, and it's like Meet Kato. So I guess it's telling us about one of the Planeswalkers, Count Life, Inner Tournaments, and more. So it's telling you about the Magic Companion. All right, that's cool. This is, I mean, it's kind of a pointless insert, but it's a pretty sweet piece of art. I don't know what you do with that, but, you know, Wizards is very much about putting their art on things, sharing the art, so, yeah, that's cool, I guess. Good old YouTube bots. Yeah, well, sadly, they're on every damn platform these days. And I will keep the packs on camera so people don't think I'm doing something shady or stupid. I don't really know why I would, but whatever. I've got no money invested in Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro currently, so whatever. Even if I did, it wouldn't change what I'm doing with the packs. Okay, cool. Let's open up some things. Watch enough of Professor Box open so you can whiff on 2/3 of a box. Yeah, oh, that's totally true. What is this? Jinjin? Is that the Jujin? Whatever the new dragon is? Oh, it's also weird too. This is vertical. It's not horizontal like a lot of the artwork is. I just realized that. I'm going to skip through a lot of the commons. Let's see. Uncommons, Essence Capture. Oh, Tatsunari with a cool anime artwork. I don't even know what we call that. Got an Invoke Justice, which is pretty sweet. And Springleaf Avenger in foil with the, I don't know, extended art treatment or whatever we call that now. And these are really good proxies. So keeping those around is actually pretty smart. It's a chance for you to, you know, fill in some cards you may not have if you want to test stuff. Eldraine Heart was folded, but I still display it. Yeah, that's exactly. As of like, that's a thing that appeals to some people, for sure. Yeah, this one's actually regular horizontal, so that's neat. I'm not sure why that was the chosen thing. This has a random foil on top. I guess the foils are on top now. Well, no, the other one was just on the bottom. That's weird. We got a foil on the bottom and a foil on the top now. Does that mean the bottom card is foil? All right, I'm going to try not to spoil this. We got... Hanada Dawn Crown. I've seen some people playing with this. I might want to build this into a deck. This is one that's just started popping up. So I'm going to probably consider... Oh, there was 2 foils. We got sandwiched in foils. Network Disruptor is actually a somewhat playable card, too. So, yeah, that was a little weird. So there's foils on top and or bottom. Interesting. I'm going to see if I could mess with the lighting just a little bit to make this a little better for y'all when I'm showing cards. Let me see if I can dim this a little. And then I have another light I could bring up just to help out with that. I hope I get a chase card. Me too. What do I think of the new Orzhov meta? I'm not sure I understand the question, Alex, because I'm like, the new Orzhov meta. Please explain. If you could detail that, I could probably give you a better answer. I think there's multiple showcase treatments. Yeah, there's way too many showcase treatments, honestly. I'm not a fan. I wasn't in the beginning. I'm even less of a fan now. All right, let's sneak through, see if we can get through these uncommons into... Oh, there's a land. It is not foil, unfortunately, but it's cool. I'm definitely going to set it aside. Umezawa, pretty cool. This is likely just going to be popular in Commander, I imagine. I don't think this is going to be one that sees any standard play, unfortunately. And a Kitsune Ace in foil, not the best thing, and something telling us about Secret Lair, and happens to be a Human Monk card. But yeah, when it comes to showcases, I'm not the biggest fan. Set boosters can have a foil land and also the pack foil at the back. Yeah, that's a weird thing. Lands in every pack? No, or at least not these. Now, my understanding is when the collector's boosters come out, they will have these in every pack, and they might even be foil. I'd have to go check. But yeah, in the collector's boosters, you will get one of these in every pack. I believe in the set boosters, they're like 1 in 3 packs or something like that. So, a little bit different. From some of the openings, what are you seeing? There's weird sequencing, upside down cards, set boosters. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Do I think Orzhov is strong enough? Will it push? Is it out of the meta, or is it still top? I don't think either one has been on top. It's been mono white and mono green, and then some is it. But is it got a card banned, which changed everything? So go with what you will. I would say if you're going to play on the ladder, play whatever you find fun, because everything is playable on the ladder if it's at least focused and reasonably decent. That's my perspective. I have a whole YouTube channel based on it. If you're talking about tournaments, that's a whole other ballgame. And I will stick to that regardless of what people want to say. All right, so here's another one. Another mountain even, actually. And then let's see what we got here. Get through this. We got a bunch of this card. And it's been like the last card in the sequence of commons and uncommons. Almost every... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking. A full art Beseju. There we go. Look at that beauty. It's not foil, but still cool. I'm definitely on board with that. And we got a mythic in the same pack. Look at that. That's super exciting. Yeah, we ain't mad at that. And a foil. All right. Well, that's probably not going to get too much better than that. We might have peaked. we're 4 packs in, and we might already have peaked, unfortunately. Oh, this is cool as a 4. Like, this is neat. I would almost use this as a token. Check that out. That's a cool piece of art. I don't even know what card that's on, but that's awesome. Like, I'm about it. Get out of here, bots. Boom, there you go. Back to what we were doing. All right. Let's get into some things. Reinforced Ronin. All right. And nope, that's a common. Multiple sagas there. Okay, we got a Lion Sash. That's cool. At least that's a playable card. It's usable. Not mad at that. And random foil that we're probably just not going to touch at any point. Let me see here. Let me see if that lighting helps. Whoa, that's not going to help. That's bad. Let's not do that. Ah! Why is it not doing a thing? Oh my goodness. Hold, please. There we go. My extra light went bonkers. Let's not do that. Y'all were getting a weird flicker there for a second. That was bad. Getting the kids ready for bed. I'll leave the stream going for a few fun. Well, thank you so much. Yes, I agree. Don't forget to like and thumbs up the video. Reinforced Ronin's getting a lot of salt in the arena Facebook groups. You know, here's the thing, though. I don't think Reinforced Ronin is as good as people are trying. Like, a lot of people are shoving it in decks where I don't think it belongs. I think in some situations, if you're playing mono red, it's fine. There's also some scenarios where, like I guess alongside, like, Ingenious or the 2-mana 1/1 that, like, when you play an artifact gets a +1/+1, right? Like, that's a thing. Maybe if you're playing the Oni, what is it? The Only Clan Anvil. So, like, when an artifact leaves play, you get a free 1/1. When you have stuff like that, maybe. But other than that, I don't know if I would play it. I see people just playing, like, Boros aggro and then, like, shoving that card in. But it's like, do you want to spend mana every turn just to have an extra 2/2 for half a turn, effectively, right? Like, I don't think it's necessarily worth it in a lot of cases. So, yeah, not sure I would play it as much as people want. I'm not saying it's awful. I don't think it's necessarily terrible. I just don't think it belongs in as many decks as people are trying to shove it in. Oh, this island's pretty sweet. I'm down with this. All right, let's see what else we got here. Nope. Oh, Mech Titan Core. Sadly, I don't think this card's ever going to go anywhere, but it's a fun card. It's a sweet card, but not necessarily a good card. And Kappatek Wrecker as a foil. Probably not one I'm going to play in Constructed, unfortunately. Whoa! Check this out, though. A random list card that happens to be a mythic. Karametra, God of the Harvest. I'm not a big fan, and this comes up every time I open a sec box. I don't really care about the list. I think it's usually pretty bad. However, when you do get a good card off the list, it's awesome. However, most of the cards on the list are terrible. So, there you go. Typical spiel, but cool card. So I'm going to set that aside. I don't even know what Karametra is even worth anymore. I'd have to go look it up. All right. Oops. And we got a forest. That's pretty cool. And dun, 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 dun. So yeah, so far we're not doing bad. We're only, what, 8 packs in, and we've already pulled, like, one of the big cards we could pull and a good card off the list, so I'll take it. And a Takenuma. That's not hugely pricey, but a very useful card. So we'll take that. And random foil. Foil Ninja Turtle will be something people want. Maybe. Quite possible. By the way, how sweet is this token? Like, I saw this when it first populated in Arena, and I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like, I didn't even know those were going to be a thing, but that's pretty neat. I dig that. That's a token I actually like. And when we get back to playing in paper, I might actually use. Whoa, did I open that pack upside? No, I opened that pack correctly. Weird. It was just upside down. Well, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe we're going to get something awesome here. That's a cool looking swamp. That's neato. All right. Well, let's hope this pack, maybe that being upside down was a sign. I don't know. Let's find out. Doesn't look like it is, though. All right. Invoke the Ancients. That's fine. I'm actually using that in a couple of lists. I don't hate it. Oh, and a foil restoration. All right. Maybe that was a good sign. Brilliant Restoration foil. Nice, 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 nice. I think of the list just as a bonus card. Is it usually trash? Yes, but I think you get one hit per box. Kinda. But, like, here's my thing, though. I don't even mind that the cards on the list aren't necessarily valuable. What I would rather see is at least playable cards on the list. My problem is the list gets populated with a bunch of junk that nobody wants. Like, not even people playing like Pauper want some of the junk on the list, right? So you could go through and print things that aren't necessarily valuable, but people still find useful. Because there's a bunch of stuff in Pauper, a bunch of stuff in Pioneer, whatever, that are just quality commons and uncommons that you could fill the list with. There's no need to have absolute junk. And my logic is that why have a promotion or an upgrade or bonus that just makes people feel bad, right? Like, that defeats the whole purpose of it. Like, it should be, oh, hey, this is neat. I have a spare, I don't know, lava spike or whatever, right? That's a card that gets played in multiple formats. It's cool to have a spare one of those around for building that second deck or third deck or whatever, right? Even that would be good enough. But to open, like, I don't know, we've opened so many bad cards, but just like random whatever, it's just like, what's the purpose? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't do anything. Like, it's just meh. Like, why are we even bothering? Like, it's just weird. Like, creating situations that just feel bad just seems silly. It's kind of like the reason I don't like having prize packs and then foil prize packs, because then you make the regular prize packs, which are still a benefit, feel really bad. You know what I mean? Like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, it just seems silly. Like, why have those? Because you're undoing your own work, right? You want people to be excited about something like the list. So at least have it be playables, and then they get a great card and it feels awesome. As opposed to, well, the list is worthless unless I get one of the 10 big cards on it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the thing. However, I just realized I wasn't recording in the very beginning of this, so I just want to like recap for people who may not have seen it. Here's the stuff we opened so far. We got a Brilliant Restoration, Invoke the Ancients, Atakanuma, Mech Titan Core, Lion Sash, Hidetsugu Consumes All, Beseiju Who Endures with the full art, which is awesome. Easily the most expensive thing we have, probably the most expensive thing in the set without being foil. Satoru Umazawa, which is awesome for commander players. This actually might be constructed playable. I think there's actually, you probably could use this for constructed, so I'll have to consider that. And then Tatsunari, which is pretty sweet too, with some cool art. So those, and then we also got an Invoke Justice that you see hiding out down here. And then a random foil Springleaf Avenger, which is pretty cool. And then a pile of foils that are not particularly exciting, but they are foil nonetheless, and at least somewhat usable. So that's the good news. And I think that gets everybody caught up. We did get a few of these lands as well. We got 4 or 5 of these actually already so far. And our one card off the list so far that we opened was a Karametra, God of Harvest. So there you go. Everybody should be caught up to speed now. And we're going to continue opening the rest of these. So far, we opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 packs. So far, it looks like these are about 1 every 2 packs. Because we opened 9 packs so far, and we have 10 of them. All right. Back to what we were doing. Why purposely put in extras nobody wants? Yeah, that's kind of my point on the list, right? Like, if you put in something that nobody cares about, what's the point of even wasting the time? Because you're even having somebody curate a list of cards, because somebody has to decide what's on the list, what goes to the printer, what gets inserted in the packs, whatever, right? Somebody has to go do all that work for something nobody even wants, right? That's kind of my complaint. Like, I would rather have that effort put into something else. Do I think Springleaf Avenger is playable? It's quite possibly, yeah. Speaking of playables, do I think Enthusiastic Mechanoc? I don't know. You're going to have to tell me what it does. Oh, there you go. It's a 2-mana, 2/2 flyer that reduces the artifact cost by 1. Oh, you're talking about the blue-red creature. Maybe? I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's some cards that are probably going to be better in Commander. There's also some that are going to be better when we get to... what's the Brothers War, right? Because there's going to be a bunch more artifacts, vehicles, whatever in that set as well. So even if they're not playable today, they probably will be in like 9 months or whatever, 8 months, whatever, however long that set is away. All right, here we go. Another foil up front, which last time we got a foil in the front, it was sandwiched by foil. So let's see if that's a trend. If we have a foil in the front, do we have a foil in the back? Because that seems there. I can see a foil peeking out, so we are going to have a foil. Kotori, Pilot Prodigy. Now, this is a card that was in Commander, hence the little Commander symbol, but these get inserted into set boosters. So we have this. That's pretty cool. So that's a thing there. I'm going to set this aside. And then we got Invoke Calamity. So we got a Mythic and a Rare. And then we got a foil. So we did get bookended by foils. So anytime you have a foil on top so far, we have a foil on the bottom as well. So that's an interesting thing to note. Don't know if it means anything. I mean, it's not like we're opening these to draft with or anything, but it's the reason. This is the year of the vehicles? I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like, I mean, like, what vehicles would we have in the next couple of sets, right? Are we going to get, like, I don't know, a gangster car for whatever that is, New Capenna? Like, you can't really have a lot of vehicles in that set. You know what I mean? Like, it's not designed for that. Like, you can get some type of gangster roadster or something, and that's probably it. And then I don't even remember what the next set is. Now, and when we get to the Brothers War, yeah, we know there could be vehicles because we have throwback cards from like Revised and like Antiquities that probably would be vehicles if they were produced today. So it makes sense that those would probably have some. All right. This was a good sign, too. When we had a pack that was upside down, that was a good slot. Oh, what is this? I've never seen this with the little shiny Planeswalker symbol. Usually these have like an autographed or something. I've never seen one with this. What does this mean? Is this special? Doesn't look special. Weird. This is kind of just normal. But it has a Planeswalker symbol. Is this like something we're doing now instead of autographs? Huh. Weird. All right. I'm going to notate that to check out later. I don't know what's going on with that. That is a weird thing that I didn't know existed. All right. Here we go. The Dragon Kami Reborn. I have not found a use for this yet, sadly. So I don't know what to think of this card. And just a regular old foil in the back. All right. Nice way to get the commander in non-foil. Yeah, that's absolutely a cool way. And they put other... I think they put other commander cards in here, too. I feel like several from each deck appear in these things. Another foil up front. So I guess, yeah. It doesn't replace your foil in the back. You just get a bonus one. Which is interesting. But hey, not going to complain. Higher chance of people getting things they want in foil. So that's a good thing. All right. You know what? Tetsuki, I don't really have a use for, but I've seen this showing up in a couple of decks that I've played against. Now, admittedly, I don't think those decks were particularly good, but I know they've been out there. So, and then just junky foil. All right. So we've hit at some of our big cards already. But we still have... Whoa, that went out of focus. Oh, that was weird. But, yeah, let's see what else we can find. I don't think we're done yet. We have like half a box still, so I'm still feeling confident there's more goods in here. Oh, wow, that's weird. Just regular planes. Gotten so used to seeing the other lands in these packs, it's just like opening a regular planes feels kind of weird. Alright. And we got Invoke the Winds. I'm waiting for a deck to really abuse this. Like, if somebody who puts this in the yard and finds a way to keep getting it back or whatever, it's going to be super annoying. Or finding a way to cast this out of your graveyard, bleh. I feel like it's going to happen sooner or later. And then there's a foil, Reinforced Ronin, and a proxy. Alright. Oh, man. Just had to take a second to bounce that bot out the way. What do I think of the new Tamiyo Planeswalker? You can check out one of my videos coming in 2 days. And we'll see if it's any good in that deck list. Another mountain. Hadn't seen one of those in a couple of packs. This art is sweet, too. So it's kind of a... If there was a spot to use anime-style art, it's definitely like this set and this type of booster release. So it's actually pretty cool. Myogen of the Roaring Blades. All right, here's another one from Commander that shows up in a booster pack. So cool there. And a Mythic. Kari the Swirling Sky. All right, kind of nice, kind of nice. And then Ambitious Assault. There's a slot in the Cess boosters that is for Commander cards, I believe, because, you know, Wizards likes giving us Commander stuff. Not that I'm complaining. Oh, yeah, I know it's in there. It's just like, you know, it appears however it appears. Yeah, Jin Kataxis is pretty annoying, too. I'm sure we'll see a lot of those popping up around before no time. Alright, let's see what we got here. Yeah, March of the Reckless Joy. I actually do have a list with this in there. Don't know if it's any good yet, but I am trying it at least. Oh, and as an example, Invisibility. A card literally nobody needs or wants. I don't think this shows up in anything. Like, yeah, there was no reason for this to be reprinted. Like, zero reason to reprint that card. Alright. Here we go. You could easily copy it plus Leer from the graveyard. Yeah, you could Leer from the graveyard. Here's a Plains. And let's see what else we got here. Come on. Secluded Courtyard. This actually has a little bit of value for a few different decks. Not anything crazy or anything, but because it's a theme multicolor card, multicolor land, that's actually pretty useful, believe it or not. Teachings of the Kirin. I don't have this in a deck either, unfortunately, right now. So yeah, that pack was mostly a dud for us. And hey, another list card. So we hit a couple in a row. Aki Coalflinger, first strike, 3-mana 2/2, attacking creatures gain first strike till end of turn. Yeah, another card nobody needs. Also weird that they printed the dual deck version instead of the regular one. I don't even know why. That makes it even stranger, but yeah. Yeah, old school counterspell. That would be fine. Like, literally, there's a ton of stuff you could put there. Hell, you've reprinted Brainstorm several times in various forms. We could just put more Brainstorms in there and we would be happy. Okay, so this is weird now, right? So we have the thing with the Planeswalker symbol. We now have one with an artist signature. I don't know what that means. We will need to research this. But noted that that is a thing that exists. So now we know. Alright. Something good. Tribute to Hirobi. I don't know if this card is good or not. I've seen a couple people try it in some lists. I considered trying it and I backed out on it. So I don't know. Might have to leave that to other people to figure out. However, a foil I don't care about. And yet our third, we're hitting a bunch of list cards apparently. This is at least one from Commander, but again, Commander Legends was what, a year ago? We didn't really need a reprint right now on an uncommon from that set. Like, again, pointless card. Not only is this card pointless, it's also just barely over a year old, and it's not one that's in high demand even. So, blah. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a bonus card, it's free, whatever, I get it. But again, at least make it something somebody might actually play with. Invisibility is ninja themed, but they could find... Oh, well, sure, we could definitely find stuff better if that's what you're worried about is the theme, for sure. Oh, there you go. We got a foil one of these. Look at that. That's nice and shiny and cool. There you go. That's a good shot of it there in the light. That's pretty awesome. I was wondering if we were going to hit any of those, but we finally got one. All right. Ishin. I have a deck that I'm messing around with Ishin, utilizing venturing into the dungeon, so we'll see if it's any good. I don't know if it is, but we'll find out. Oh, look at this. This pack was just upside down in the pack by itself. And it was backwards and upside down. Check that out. So it's let's see if this is the money pack. All right, let's see. All right, we just have this art card for the land on top. A regular forest. So far, nothing abnormal here. Might have just fell into the pack wrong. Or into the box wrong. A couple of shrines. The Black Invocation, or Invoke Despair, I should say. Nope, it was just a regular boost pack. It got us hyped for nothing. Hey, Jacob, how's it going? We are opening some set boosters. All right, let's see what else we got here. Whoop. We are getting a fair amount of these, though, out of the box. That's kind of cool. If you're fans of those and you open a set booster, it does look like they're about 1 per 2 packs. So you should be able to get your hands on those fairly easy if you want them. Tameshi Reality Architect. Haven't really seen this in a list put to use either, so questioning that card's quality. I do have a list that plays this right now. I don't know if it's any good, but I like kind of the concept of it anyway. Still probably a week till my set box comes in, so I have to live the... Hey, nothing wrong with that. Just enjoy it when you get there. Ishin would be fun on a Jank Delina deck copy. Nope, I am not even going down that road. Delina, not good. I am not even. Not even. I am not going into that trap. Like, no question. Not even going to try it. Like, I can't tell you the number of times people go to creators and say, like, you should build a deck with this. Basically what they're saying is, I'm pretty sure this sucks, but I really want it to be in a deck, and I want you to do the work and show me it. Some of them are just bad, y'all. And they're not going to be remotely competitive. And that's okay. March of the Burgeoning Life. I do also have this in a list. So we'll get to see this hopefully in a couple of days on the channel. And more tokens. All right. All right, so we got one without the Planeswalker symbol. So we know there's a regular one and a Planeswalker symbol one, at least. Don't know what else it means other than that. We'll figure it out over time, but we're at least learning things as we go along here. What do we get? Oh, Kami of Transience. That's cool. I am actually playing this. If y'all didn't see my Selesnya Enchantments list, you should go check it out. This card's actually very good. Very fun. So excited to open that. And then a foil I'm probably not going to use. Also, welcome those of you that are new here watching the stream as we open this box. Thank you for stopping by. You should follow me on my various socials if you haven't yet. I'd really appreciate it. Or at the very least, remember to like this video because that helps a bunch if you can at least do that while you're hanging out. Be also cool if you subscribe and check out some of my other stuff. But hey, at least like the video because you're here and we're having fun hanging out together. All right, let's see what else we got. Colossal Sky Turtle. I probably need to have this on a list at some point too. I feel like there's silly shenanigans you could do with that card. Ishin plus Winota makes me cringe though. Probably not worth doing, honestly. Even that doesn't feel great. Used to do build around submissions, $50 if you name the card. He builds a deck and plays a league outside. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a huge time sink and it takes away from other content we could watch. If somebody wanted to pay me for it, sure. Then you're at least paying for my time. But just asking somebody to like go waste 5 hours to find out it still sucks, probably not worth it. Another commander card here. Mygen of the Blooming Dawn. So that's cool. Ooh, a full art Iganjo. That's pretty neat too. I'm not mad at that. That's cool. Like that a lot. Oh, this is a hot pack. And a Raiju. Check that out. So we got a rare from Commander. We got a rare full art from the set, and then another rare. All right, that's pretty cool. Well, that pack didn't hurt, did it? That's kind of nice. Not something that happens too often. Kamigawa Transition is great. I played it at pre-release, made a Legend Enchantment deck. Yeah, it's a beast card. It's really, really good. No doubt. More fancy lands. Rabbit Battery, which we will be using in some stuff. Also, Commando Faces Kakazan, also very good. And an Etsushi. Definitely are going to be playing this a bit too. I like this card quite a lot. So that's pretty cool. Another Mythic and a foil. So far, this box has not been bad. We've actually done pretty well. Yeah, the Legend lands have been pretty sweet so far. A cool art piece. If you want to get a look at that, there you go. Oh, and another foil land. Our 2 foils have been the 2 islands so far. There you go. Get you a shot of that in the light there. It's pretty cool. Let's see if we get something else to go with that. Oh, yes. Tamiyo's Safekeeping. You should probably be playing those if you're playing green. It's really good. Alrighty. Come on now. Ooh, the reality chip. Awesome. We like a reality chip. Oh, we like a foil Tezzeret even more, though. Nice. Nice. Very, very nice. Cool. All right. Well, this box definitely hasn't sucked. I can say that for sure. We have done very well so far. We've gotten the top end cards out of the set. We've gotten foil mythics, like even some of the foil special lands. So no complaints whatsoever. Yeah, we're doing quite all right. Come on. Get by. There we go. Goro Goro! I actually will be playing with this. I have Goro Goro in a couple of lists already. I think this card's actually very good. Being able to get all your stuff haste for 1 mana is pretty sweet. Especially if you're playing some aggro thing or you want to be able to recover after a sweeper. Very good. Big fan. Also a fan of this card. Jukai Naturalist. Like this card as well. So yeah, that's not a bad... For useful card... Like, that's the thing. Even if cards aren't expensive, I will gladly take them if they're useful. If I think I'm going to play with them. Yeah, exactly. The Tezzeret plus the reality chip definitely was a good theme. All right. Another fancy art piece there. We'll put that over here. Just a regular old mountain. It's almost a shame those have to exist in the set. You could have just put all the fancy lands in here and people would have been probably fine. All right. Mirror box. That's gonna make some people happy. Like here's an interesting thing on mirror box, and I shared this on socials a few days back, but there's a chance this card ends up being very expensive, right? Because it's basically what Mirror Gallery is, and then some, right? It's Mirror Gallery for 2 less mana, and you get a benefit of some extra +1/+1 action, right? So I have to assume, in theory, that Mirror Gallery is expensive. So this now there's going to be more of these open and existing than there were Mirror Galleries. So I don't think this is necessarily going to be like a $25-$30 card like Mirror Gallery has been in the past. But this could realistically be a $15, maybe even up to an $18 or $20 card over the next couple of years. So just something to think about if you can get them cheap enough. There you go. Oh, and yet another list card that nobody wants. Also random because this came out, what, last year? Because this is a Kaldheim card. So, again, why did we even reprint this? A random uncommon from Kaldheim. There's no shortage of these. Nobody's playing with this. Nobody gives a damn about this card. It should not be on the list. Even normal basics look great, though. Oh, yeah. This set hit on all cylinders. Like, it's been doing fantastic for just about every retailer I talk to. Like, this set checked all the right boxes. They got the flavor right. The artwork's cool. Like, they did everything they needed to do to get people interested. So, no hate to Wizards on that. This I don't have a use for, though I feel like I should. But, yeah. Wish it was better. Cool that it's a extended art interesting thing in foil, but don't know if I'm going to play with this card, unfortunately. All right, we're down to, what, 4 packs here. This is what we got left. Dun, 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 dun. Let's open this up. Don't want to damage the cards here. There we go. Maybe, if I can pull these out the side. There we go. All right. Another one of these. Non-foil this time. And let's see what we got. Lion Sash with the cool art. Extended art. That's cool. We'll take that. And another Brilliant Restoration. Our second one out of this. So this one's non-foil, or whereas our other one was foil. And a regular foil Light the Way. So yeah, when you get 2 or 3 rare packs or mythics, like, it's hard to be upset, even if they're just mediocre to bad ones. Kind of like increase your odds of having something playable. All right. Hitexugu, which I do have in one list currently. Oh, we got a regular foil Swamp. That's kind of interesting. Reinforced Ronin with the cool art. So that's kind of neat. Let's see what else we got. All right, we got another. Actually, we're opening all the Myojin from Commander, but there you go. Myojin of Cryptic Dreams. We will set that over here. A regular Tezzeret. Cool. To go with our foil one. And a foil 7-Tail Mentor, which happens to be a Fox Samurai. All right. So that pack was pretty solid, too. Man, I guess the box is at least trying to finish strong, so we can't be upset about that. Okay. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, another Boseiju. Look at that. We got a regular one and an extended art one. And you know we're definitely going to play these in paper at some point, so I'm excited to have these. That is actually really, really cool. So we got 2 Boseijus and 2 Tezzerets. Wow, 1 special and 1 not in each of them. So that's kind of cool. So man, talk about the box finishing strong. I don't think there's anything else here unless this is like a triple rare mythic pack. I don't think there's much more this pack's going to be able to do to get over those last couple. But you know what? Let's see. Another one of those, so that's cool. And then, what do we got? Let's not spoil anything. All right, so we got another Tatsunari. I thought we were going to have something else good behind it. Nope, just a regular. And yet another list card that nobody needs that happens to be an uncommon from Kaldheim. Why? Why, Wizards? Why? Why? Like, look at literally what we got from this box. As far as, look at all these list cards, and only one of them, like, okay. This one, pointless, right? It's an uncommon from Kaldheim. Nobody's missing. They're in stock everywhere. Nobody cares. War Chanter Scald, also uncommon from Kaldheim. Nobody cares. This was slightly older, from a year and 2 months ago? A year and a month and a half? So, from Commander Legends, also uncommon. Plenty out there. Nobody's playing this. Nobody cares. Aki Coalflinger. Another card. Nobody cares. It's at least a goblin. So, you know, if you play a goblin deck, maybe you want one of these. I don't know. Weird that we decided to print the dual deck one. Whatever. It's a reprint. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, nothing. Invisibility, like I said, I can at least go with the theme of saying, like, well, you know, ninjas, whatever. I get it. All right. Still bad. Nobody needs this. Nobody cares. And then we got Karametra, which is actually a real card. God of the Harvest, right? So this is a real reprint. At least it's usable, playable. People put it in a few different decks. Like, we can be excited about it. But that's the thing, right? We got 6 cards. Only 1 was anything that's even going to remotely see play in a deck. Now, it's a good one. Don't get me wrong. But these others won't even see the light of day. Like, why they're even in there, I have no idea. No, David, it doesn't need to be done by a bunch of players. It just needs to be done in a way that they care. That's literally it. Like, people at Wizards are competent to do this. They don't need players to do it. but at least just go through and look at decks. Honestly, they could go through all the top decks in every format, right? The top 20 decks or whatever, from like Mythic, I mean, not Mythic, but Vintage, Legacy, whatever. Take all the top decks and just take all the commons and uncommons and then just use those to fill in the list. That's it. Literally, that's it. They don't have to do anything else. Even the ones that, like, you could put at least some old version of Duress in there. Like we said, you could put Lava Spike would be a good one you could put in there. Like, there's a bunch of things you can put there that people at least care about or might use. I'm not saying they got to be all-star cards or anything like that. Like, they don't even have to be high-value reprints. They could be 25 and 50-cent reprints. Let them at least be cards people are going to put in their decks. Or just quit putting the crap in there and then let us have 2 hits per box that might be actual cards we need that are quality reprints, right? That are $3 value plus, that you get 2 bonus cards in your box. That's all you got to do too. Either one would be fine. I would be literally good with any of that. I think there's so many options you could do that would all be better than what they're doing now. But let's take a look at what we got here. All right, so of these art cards, we did get 1 signature card, which seems to be about the trend of getting 1 signature card per set booster box. I think we got 1 that had 2 in the past, but usually it's 1 per box, so that checks. But then we still have this weird thing. And we got a non-foil one as well. So I don't know if this is because this artist did not sign any cards or give their signature, or if this is just a thing. Like, is there now foil Planeswalker stamp and signatures and regulars? Like, I don't know. This is just weird. I don't know. I don't really know. It's a weird thing. I wish I knew why those existed. I have no idea. All right, let's check rares and mythics here. We'll include the ones for Commander because they're just in there. But we got 1, 2, and I'll pull out the mythics as we go along. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 in foil, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So we got 42 rares and or mythics. We know that we got at least a couple in foil. Right, one of those being a foil mythic rare. So 42 total rares and mythic means we got 6 more than we would normally get in a box, right? And we got probably a couple more foils than we would have got because we got a foil mythic and a foil, 2 foil rares. So that matters. And we got some full art cards that have a little bit more value. And then we still have these, which I'm sure carry some small amount of value. We got 2 foil of these, and then all the special lands. And then a couple, like I said, the signature cards or whatever. We did get the Karametra, which also adds to value. And then just a pile of uncommon, which some of these are actually going to be playable uncommons. Like, because we know that, like, this is likely going to show up in lists. The Jukai Naturalist is going to be a thing. Now, admittedly, I don't think any of these are going to be particularly high value, but they are some non-zero amount of money that adds to the value of the box. So, it's kind of a neat thing. In general, right? Like, people always ask, like, is it worth it for me to buy a set booster box versus a regular draft booster box? For me, I only buy set booster boxes because I don't keep boxes to draft. I will buy packs if I go draft or whatever, or pitch in on a booster box if we choose to draft together. But in this instance, I mean, I paid, I guess, what would be about $15 more than I would have for most other booster boxes for a draft booster box. And I got significant more value, right? We're talking 6 more rares and or mythics, plus some full art cards, plus the special lands, plus the foil special lands, and the artist signatures, and the Karametra, right? That I don't have a chance of getting those out of regular booster boxes. So overall, I would say that's pretty solid. That's a good bit of value back for the box, so no complaints from this dude for sure. I think I'm going to continue buying my set booster boxes. But, don't get me wrong. Like, can you still go wrong with regular booster boxes? Sure. Right? depending on how much you have to pay. And it depends on what you mean by wrong, right? Some people consider if they don't get a whole bunch of value back, you know, if I spend $120 on a box, then I need to be able to get I need to get $140 back or whatever, right? Or else it's not worth it, or at least break even. The reality is so many of the cards are going to go up over time that you kind of have to figure that in as well. Like there's a bunch of cards, even from the last couple of years, that people would say, well, at the time they didn't get their value out of the box, right? But if you go back and look, there's a bunch of stuff that's still going up in value from like Theros block and stuff, right? And that just rotated out last year. So you would think they would be cheaper, but a bunch of them started going up. Like if you had any of the, whatever, the big tree, the Great Hinge, those things are through the roof right now. Like those things are probably going to be primed for a reprint in the next year because they're already getting so expensive. Y'all are going to hear some crinkling as I pull these packs and get them out of the way. I set them on my desk while I was opening them. Not a smart move. But yeah, so some cards that do appear at one value now aren't going to necessarily stay that way either. And here's the other reality too. Let's be honest. The average person who cares about value isn't even going to sell their stuff, right? You get people who are so worried about, did I get my money back or whatever? Like, does it matter if you did? Right? If you opened $170 for your $120 box, you're not going to sell any of the stuff. Like some people do, don't get me wrong. Some people will sell the cards they're not using or whatever, try to get some of the money back or trade them in for other things. Totally get it. But the average person doesn't. I know this from history. People just don't. They hold on to their stuff, or they're too lazy to sort it or bring it to their tournament or local store or whatever, and it sits at home in a box forever. Right? So the value doesn't even matter all that much. If you get close, great. That's the only thing probably matters. And then did you get stuff you're going to actually play with? That's the other thing to me. And that's why I was excited about some of these packs, because even if though the cards weren't valuable, I know I want to build some of these in paper, especially later this year, crossing my fingers that we get to start going to events and tournaments again later. I want to have some of these cards to build decks with, right? And some to trade. So there's value for me even beyond what the cards are today. There's also the reality, and we don't know what this is going to be yet, obviously, because whatever the new world looks like, where cards have one value right now. But when we start going back to stores and people start running standard events, FNMs, PTQs, Grand Prix, whatever, that need standard cards, we could see another spike in prices. Because think about this, right? We have cards that are at certain values or pushing values or holding values without a lot of these events happening. I mean, I was telling somebody, imagine if we were still going to PTQs that were standard legal, right? Or we were going to Grand Prix or whatever. Like, vendors would be selling Meat Hook Massacres for probably $75. And that's not even an exaggeration. They're already like $45 or something right now without big events happening or qualifiers happening. So it's not unreal that those, maybe gold span dragons, whatever, could see over a $75 value. Not saying they will, but I could see scenarios where that's possible. Right now, that being said, because we have stuff like Kamigawa that just released, and it's opening up the doors for a lot of different decks to be played, that's probably going to keep that suppressed at least for a little while, right? Till the format settles in or whatever. Maybe we find out, have people found ways to deal with Meat Hook Massacres? Like maybe we have Besejus now, right? So you can kill Meat Hook Massacres easier. Or people start main decking more, I don't know, let's say portable holes, right? Because it's good at dealing with mono white aggro, but also lets you deal with a Meat Hook Massacre, right? Stuff like that. So that could change things as we get to playing more of these decks and the formats start evolving or whatever. But it's very interesting to think about, right? That we have high value cards right now without a lot of events. And it's not just standard events. I mean, we just don't have events, period. I know a lot of stores that still aren't running their weekly tournaments yet. You know, and these are good stores that drew a lot of bodies for their weekly events. And people that had 3-4 events on their schedule every week, they're not running events yet. So once these events get opened back up, some of these cards could see another spike. Now, I don't know when that's going to be. Again, we don't know how far we have to get past Omicron for people to feel comfortable or whatever. But it's coming at some point. My guess is maybe midsummer-ish for a lot of people. But I don't know. Yeah, Beseju could be super. Beseju's already, what, $50, $60 on a lot of websites? So like I mean Beseju could I like maybe that's the 75 $80 card. I don't know. Maybe though because it's playable in every format. Literally every format can play Beseju and it's useful. I mean, hell, we could argue Iganjo's probably going to end up being useful in probably not in Vintage. Vintage and Legacy, I could see maybe not, but Iganjo could be played in Modern and in Pioneer and Standard, obviously, but like could be useful in those formats as well. The black one is definitely usable in older formats with different types of like land-based decks or Life from the Loam decks, stuff like that. So like it's good in those. Like there's a lot of things. A lot of things. Well, parks, yeah, like we know some stores are doing it. I'm fully aware, right? There's still people who went to the Super Bowl last night with like whatever. It's like 60,000 people or whatever, right? I know that's a thing. I know there's retailers that are doing it. I'm part of several retail groups. One of the biggest ones, actually. I'm one of the founders of it. But a lot of them are also still not running events. I mean, in several places. So there is a significant number of stores not hosting their normal event schedule. And once everybody's back on the same page and everybody's running events, like that's going to increase demand. Now, how much? I don't know. It might be a 10% increase. It could be a 50% increase. But that is going to push prices as well. So keep your eyes on that. As you start seeing more of your local stores open up, more cards are going to start getting traded. More cards are going to get bought. You're probably going to start seeing more evolution of the formats. Like it's going to be very interesting. Your town doesn't care for no COVID. Man, I feel you. There's a lot of places that don't. There's definitely a lot of places that don't. There have been people since day one. Like I can tell you in the state of Washington, if you're in Western Washington, it's everybody's wearing masks. It's college educated folks as well. And not to insult anybody. This is just the demographics, right? It's just different. The way they're treating it on one side. I can literally drive every 10 blocks and find a COVID testing clinic for free. Like just everything, right? Eastern Washington, might as well be the boonies in Texas. Like it's a whole different world. Like you cross over the mountains, not even the same. Like over there, nobody, like we went, was it July of 2020? We went on a camping trip and we stopped on the way back because, you know, camping's safe. We're not around anybody, whatever. Coming back, we stopped at a fruit stand because we're like, okay, let's get some fresh fruit on the way back, whatever. It was us, the people at the fruit stand, that's it, wearing masks. Everybody else was up walking around like nothing was happening. Literally. And looked at me like I had a third eye, and I was probably the only black person within about, probably 3 counties. So, like, it is what it is. But, like, it just wasn't the same. So we have literally, like, a portion of the state that probably accounts for the majority of the deaths in the state, and the other half's doing a bunch of testing, people staying home, you know, whatever, right? So it's totally, totally different. So, you know, you have stores in Western Washington that still aren't running their full schedule, and the ones that are very particular. It's about certain times, wearing masks, they've reduced capacity, you know, whatever. Eastern Washington, whatever's whatever. You know, like it's totally different. This set will age well. I think so too. Channel's that good. I think so too. Channel's basically an uncounterable spell, which is I mean, you could stifle it or whatever, but generally an uncounterable spell. So that's actually pretty cool. I think Tedra's going to be... I think a lot of cards that reference artifacts are going to be good with the Brothers War. For sure. You feel like this set has done a good job making up for the first Kamigawa block? Absolutely. I think it definitely made good on that. The older Kamigawa block had better feel, but bad build. I don't even know if it had better feel. I would say this one's much more cohesive than the old one. I think if you... like, as far as telling, like, old-style Japanese lore, it definitely probably hit that note better, for sure. But I think as far as being resonant of what they were trying to do, I feel like this was a little bit of a better representation. Let's see. I feel like this set has done a... oh, yeah. All right. You're in clubs where the numbers are down 40% on attendance pre-COVID because causes folks are not coming. Yeah, absolutely. And same thing here. Even the few places that are open, there's some people that just aren't. I mean, I know a couple of places, if I wanted to go play Commander today, I probably could. But I'm just choosing not to. Right. And I know other people I've talked to are in the same boat. They're just not wanting to go and mess with it right now. Indiana is doing fine. Fear is the devil's tool. Well, you know, I'll leave that to other people to decide how you want to deal with it. Call it what you will. Walking in Seattle, everyone is masked. Walk into a construction site in Seattle, People haven't worn masks the entire time. Yeah, exactly. It's such a weird thing, for sure. Everybody's treating it different, but that does affect attendance at events. We're just now getting to a world where people are starting to feel good going back to events. So, it's kind of whatever. And that's why I tell people, like, I'm not going to tell you how to treat your events. I'm not going to tell you what's good for you or not. All I can do is tell you what I do and my perspective, and you make your own decisions. Hopefully you're just being safe about it, not putting other people at risk. And that's all I can ask, right? You do what works for you. You go to your local stores, you go play events, you go do whatever. Just be as safe as you can about it. That's all I'm asking. Is anyone excited for the Lord of the Rings set this summer? I'm not a big Lord of the Rings buff anyway. Never really have been. I don't think the set's going to be bad or anything, but it's another Magic set, right? My thing is, it's really just another fantasy set. So I'm not excited about it. Like, if we would have done a full-on Warhammer 40K set or whatever, right? I don't know, a Marvel set or whatever, right? I would be more excited about that because there's a chance we'd be exploring something new and different and some new tropes or whatever. But I feel like this is mostly going to be the same stuff, just themed for stuff in Lord of the Rings, right? Instead of just getting, I don't know, zombies or gas, we're going to get ring race. You know what I mean? Like, not that that's a bad thing. I think it's going to draw some people in because people do like Lord of the Rings, and that's going to be good. But for me, but that's fine. Not everything has to be for me. It's kind of like with the Godzilla stuff, right? I didn't care that Godzilla stuff existed, but I do know for a fact people were going to local stores and trying to collect and buy all the Godzilla stuff, and that's good for the stores and it's good for the game. So, yeah, absolutely. Do it. As far as that, yeah, I think it's a good thing. Generally speaking, though, it doesn't do too much for me. Wizards is going to get more of my money on that Lord of the Rings set than they have in a hot minute. Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be into it. That's why I'm saying, like, I am not against it. I'm not against any of these things. If something draws more people into the game in a positive way, and we can uplift other products and communities, and Wizards makes more money, then, like, that's a win across the board for all of us. Right? I think people have to get past this whole thing of, like, because I'm not a fan or because I don't like it, it's worse. And then the thing I like is just magically better, right? And it seems silly to me, right? Because we're talking about, let's talk about, like, the Secret Lairs, right? From earlier this year when they announced, oh, we're going to do a Fortnite Secret Lair. And people were like, blah, blah, blah. But then they read the other half of the announcement and they're like, oh, but I can't wait to get a Chun-Li thing because they're going to do a Street Fighter Secret Lair, right? So, like, well, why is it not fair for the people who are fans of Fortnite to be like, whatever, Street Fighter's old, it's been there, done that, whatever. I'm not excited about Street Fighter, it sucks. Right? You know what I mean? Like, see you later, David. So it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, just because it's your thing that you like doesn't make it better. The same way that if it's something that you dislike doesn't make it worse. If the product is treated correctly and it's done what it's supposed to do, then fine. Right? That's all we can really ask for. Nice to stop by. Been vibe a while playing Arena. Well, thank you, Garrett. Thanks for stopping in. And with the Rings of Power series coming out this year, too, do we know if the Lord of the Rings is centered on the movies or it's going to be related? My guess is it's probably tied. It'll probably have some callbacks to the movies because that's what people know. But it will probably have some stuff mixed in from the TV series as well because it's probably why they're doing it, right? To help push that series, would be my guess. AFR was a big success for me. Though, I think the problem, though, West, with AFR was that it did a good job of getting people interested, but I think the way they did it kept people from staying engaged, right? We didn't dive in enough. I think there was way more stuff they could have done that would have been more interesting and deeper, and they took it overly safe with mechanics. So if you did like something about the set, unfortunately, as far as like the D20 dice rolling, the venture into the dungeon stuff or whatever, it was so restricted that you couldn't be excited playing with the cards from that set. And I think that was the disappointment for me. And for a lot of people, I think, right? We didn't really hone in on giants because that's a thing, I think, from that world as well. Like, there's a lot of things I think we could have hit on that we just didn't. And I don't know if they were saving stuff for a future set or they were afraid to let it be too good or whatever. But I think like the idea of like, oh, there's a D&D thing and that's huge, and they were able to market to a whole group because they already have contacts for all of the D&D players and everything else, right? Fantastic. But I'm curious because I know a lot of people who are disappointed that, oh, I was really hoping they would have done something with this character, or they would have mentioned this town, or would have, a bunch of stuff they know to be Forgotten Realms didn't appear in the set. And then when they found things they liked, the mechanics really weren't exciting, right? If you tried to build around the D20 thing because you're a D&D player or whatever, it was awful. The D20 stuff was bonkers bad. You know what I mean? So, that's tough. That's a tough one. Warhammer would be fine. I prefer the classic Warhammer thing, but 40K will have to do, as I don't play. Yeah, I get it. But like, if you're gonna do something different, my guess is it's probably also around of like a new edition of Warhammer 40K coming out or some such. Wouldn't surprise me, And if you notice, pretty much every announcement we got or every product that's released has been around a other thing, right? So when you're talking about like we were talking about the Stranger Things stuff back when the other season was coming out. It didn't release till recently, obviously. But same thing with, what was the other one? The Walking Dead, right? It was with the big season premiere of Walking Dead and all that. And there was other products coming out at the time. And they were promoting it on E! So, same thing with Lord of the Rings. Like, we found out about it as we're starting to promote the other thing. So I'd assume Warhammer is going to follow the same thing. And that makes sense when you're cross-promoting brands, right? Try to time it around where both brands get the biggest benefit, right? Because they're both elevating and talking about a product or a brand, and you're getting the most eyeballs on it. So both sides get to benefit. So would not surprise me if it's something like that. Hopefully the Baldur's Gate Commanders, they expand on it. You would hope so, David. You really would hope so. Feel like Wizards needed to go harder on the dice rolls in Forgotten Realms. They went about it too safe. Well, yeah, they went too safe with the Venture thing, and we got to see that because all the changes they made to allow it to be played in Alchemy were actually very good. And the deck's actually very playable now. 23-3 and Lord of the Rings set will be coming out. That's my bad. Thinking it was this year for some reason. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's not linked to a next movie release or the preview of the next premiere of the next season or whatever else. Deck of Many Things was a sleeper. I rolled a natural 1 on my table and I laughed so hard it sucked. Yeah, I could see that. There's some fun stuff in rolling dice and failing, right? That's kind of cool. But generally speaking, the iconic cards and items and whatever should have just been more beneficial, more impactful. And they just weren't. I feel like we could have done more and for whatever reason just didn't. Yeah, exactly. I believe around the time of the big 40K yearly update. That makes sense. Wouldn't shock me at all if you line up your next product release around it, because that would make the most sense, honestly. I couldn't imagine why you would do it any other way and waste an opportunity if you're going to have a lot of eyeballs on your brand. Because the thing is, there's enough crossover between nearly every gaming product out there that even if you just reinvigorate your lapsed players that happen to be engaging with the other brand you're partnering with, that could still be a significant bump in your sales, right? If we said 1 in 20 or 1 in 30 Magic players actually has at least some amount of interest in Warhammer 40K or has played, right? That could still be a big bump in sales for Warhammer's latest release. If people go like, oh, this character I like in Magic, I could go buy that piece, or I could play an army based on this, or whatever. I could play a Warhammer army based on the deck I just made, or whatever, right? That could be enough that gets people to go make the jump. Like, I don't know that it will be, but some number of people will probably do it. Wizards have made a mistake on many things, but I feel Wizards has to try and fail. Well, yeah, it's every business. I do it here on my YouTube channel. There are things I put up or things I've covered or videos I've made that just don't hit. But I have to try to know if they will hit or people are interested so I can do other things moving forward. Or at least figure out the best way to present them or whatever. If I never do it, then I'm just never going to know. And, I'd argue that most of the stuff Wizards has done so far has made a crap ton of money. So they haven't really had failures. You know what I mean? Like, now, arguably, the Midnight Hunt or whatever that thing is, the double feature, that thing sucked. However, like I predicted, you're seeing a lot of those foils starting to spike in price like crazy. And I told people, because this is going to be a release that is not going to be reprinted, it's going to be in very short supply, cards in this set will be worth something later. Because they're not going to be... So even though it sucks and nobody really wants to have it, collectors and completists want to have these rare items. And people that like blinging out their decks or whatever, they're going to want the rarest version of the card, which is going to be something out of double feature. And because it was a small release, Wizards didn't have to worry about making their money because there's just not a lot of it. So they're not spending a bunch of money warehousing it or shipping a bunch of stuff or whatever. So it was a very low-risk item for Wizards. It just sucks from the standpoint of it didn't do anything to build the brand or Innistrad, really. Fortnite frustrates me, though. But again, Parks, that's what I'm saying. There are going to be some people who also love Fortnite or play Fortnite with their kids that don't give a damn about Street Fighter. And that's okay, right? Neither of you have to buy the other product. I don't know if I want Fortnite things, but I might want Street Fighter things. But I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo on Fortnite because it's something I don't like. There are a significant number of people that will be interested, that will buy it, and maybe even pick up playing Magic because it's got Fortnite on it. The same way people did that. I literally know people who came into local stores and people that posted online that said, oh, my cousin's interested in learning Magic because their favorite Walking Dead character has a Magic card now. Right? Like, that's big. And again, it may only be 1 in 50 people or 1 in 100 people or whatever that hear about it, read about it, whatever. Pick up the Secret Lair, who knows what. Right? But that still is a way to increase your reach on the brand and everything else. So I tell people, like, Wizards should go ham. I want to see Marvel things. I want to see DC things. I don't care if they do more My Little Pony, if they do Transformers, if they do whatever. Like, go for it. That's what Secret Lairs should be there for. Because if any of us don't want it or don't like it, we don't have to buy it. It's literally a nothing issue if we choose to just not own it. There's a bunch of Secret Lairs I don't own. And it hasn't changed my engagement with Magic at all. But for the people who have wanted it or want to pick up a cool reprint of a card or whatever else, the option's there. So I truly don't care what they sell them for. I know that's a big thing, and I know the professor, rails on it or whatever, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with his content. And I know that matters to some people. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I don't have to buy it. Like, if some people want it, it's there for them. If they don't want it, it's not there for them. I know people who literally go into game stores that don't even know Secret Lair exists. And that's 100% true, believe it or not. Like, I know, and that's the other thing. I keep bringing this up, too, because people say, like, well, Wizards are just taking money away from retailers and blah, blah, blah by having Secret Lair and whatever. Not true. Not true at all. Most retailers are doing very well right now and doing well with Magic without having access to Secret Lairs. I know this to be fact. So there's no reason to even think that's a thing. It's just not. And I would even tell you this. If most retailers had access to Secret Lair, they would probably just bottom dollar sell it so they can get it out and use that money to buy the next best thing. So nobody would want them because they'd just be available everywhere. And you defeat the purpose of having Secret Lair. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Secret Lair. Why not? It'll sell. GW as the big player in the miniature world and Wizards as the big player inside them, so together it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, might as well. If you both make more money, definitely partner up. I think if Wizards could find a way to partner with every big nerd brand, good for them. And they have a leg up because Hasbro has partnership deals with a lot of stuff already. The biggest problem, though, is just like you can't produce some things because some people have the license, right? Like you may not be able to produce Marvel cards because technically WizKids has Dice Masters, which uses Marvel art on some of those cards that go with their dice. So it depends on how those contracts are written, right? I know for a fact at one point WizKids for their X-Wing game couldn't produce miniatures over a certain size because if they go over a certain size, they become considered statues, and there's somebody else that had the license for Star Wars statues, right? So weird stuff like that can keep companies from doing certain products as well, depending on who has the license and how much they paid for it and whatever. Honestly, your take is refreshing. One of my favorite things about this channel. There's no need to poo-poo on other people's interests. Yeah, the phrase you'll hear is no need to yuck somebody else's yum, right? If it doesn't interfere with what you're doing, it doesn't mean... Like, Secret Lair existing doesn't mean I get less Magic stuff. It just means there's an extra Magic thing for people that want it. Now, if Secret Lairs existing meant I got less Magic stuff, then maybe I would have a grievance with Secret Lairs. But it's not, so I don't. You know what I mean? Lands in Secret Lair need to see a higher count. Yeah, they've started doing that, Jeremiah. They've had some where you could just buy and get like either 10 or 20 of each basic land. So like that's definitely a thing they've started doing. I've seen it on at least 2, I think. That might be all they've done it on though. Yu-Gi-Oh! As a competitor, probably not. I'd like the White Dragon. I don't know if it's a big deal. Like the thing is this, right? Like the way, man, how can I word this? Wizards doesn't necessarily view competition the same way many of the fans do, right? People look at Hearthstone and think that's a competitor to Arena. Wizards of the Coast views Magic and D&D and their products brands as competing with entertainment, right? They want you to have to make a decision between going to the movies on Friday night or going to play Magic on a Friday night. They're not looking at, okay, should they play our card game or somebody else's card game today? Right? They're thinking bigger than that. Right? They want to get a percentage of your entertainment budget, not a percentage of your card game budget. Like whatever money you were going to spend going to the movies, going out to eat, taking a plane trip, whatever, they want to make sure they get their percentage of that money. Not, the $20 you're allocating this week to spend on card games. Right? They want a chunk of the $100 you're spending on entertainment. Like, what can they do to get you to engage with Magic or Magic brands the most and keep top of mind over everybody else? That's part of their strategy. A lot of people don't understand that on some level. It's hard to communicate, but that's generally what goes on there. Not saying that those other things aren't competition on some level or on various levels potentially, but they're all operating on different scales and different trajectory for sure. You're wondering whether GW and Wizards might be planning where GW does a Magic miniature game. Not realistically. Wizards have had agreements in the past already with like WizKids and stuff to potentially do some miniature things and whatever, and I don't think that's a thing. I think like there could still be a thing potentially, but realistically, I feel like we have tried miniatures for Magic players, and that's just not a thing the average Magic player wants. You have to get people that already have an interest, or like I said, lapsed players for GW, and I think that's the real draw from doing a GW set. That being said, it's been several years. Maybe they'll try again, or they'll try it with a different approach, and maybe it'll be more successful this time. But I don't think that's really in the cards right now. I mean, GW has a lot of their own branded things already that they don't put out very much of, which they should. Because they have a whole library of games they could just roll out every year and make a pile of money, and they don't. So I'm not sure how much they'd want to invest in new molds, new art, new rule books, whatever, for an entirely different branded thing. Like, it'd be very curious. Because, I mean, they've got Mordheim, Blood Bowl, Epic, whatever. Like a whole bunch of other games they could roll out tomorrow with molds that likely still exist and just make a pile of money, but they choose not to. So I'm not sure that's necessarily in their business plan. Resident Evil Secret Lair, that could be a thing. See, that could have been a thing around the time of Innistrad, right? That would have been an easy sell. And we need MTG minis. I don't know that we do. But hey, if some people are into it, if they can find a way to sell it to enough people that want it, I say go for it. Or Fallout Lair. Maybe. I feel like the moment on Fallout has kind of passed, though. I don't like Fallout is still a thing, but it's not nearly as popular as it used to be. So I feel like that train, that train might have left the station a while ago, right? Like I don't hear a lot of hype around that like I used to, because like people still play and still like there's still full tournaments and everything for Street Fighter or whatever, right? People are still playing Fortnite daily, right? Hundreds of thousands of people on playing Fortnite. I don't know if you'd get that kind of thing for Fallout. There's a little bit of nostalgia on Fallout, but I think the only way Fallout works is maybe if it's also tied to a theme. I don't know, maybe some subnautical thing, or like some down the road we have a Magic set that makes sense to do a Secret Lair for it, then maybe. But I don't know if just like on its own, if it's that big a draw, other than just being a Secret Lair that they put some good cards in. So for that one, I think it would just come down to how much Wizards probably had to pay for the license for it. And I have no clue what that would even be or if it's worth it for them. The Witcher Secret Lair. There you go. Yeah, that's one that's still hot. People would probably be into that. Netflix deals is what they are liking. I think we'll get at least one a year. I expect He-Man or She-Ra. We got D&D, so close enough. Maybe, you know, I could see those. It's very possible. Rocket Lead Secret Lair. I mean, I think we missed the boat. We could have done it with this set with vehicles, and that would have tied in. So if we didn't do it with this one, it's probably not one they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if that came across the table, and the deal probably fell through. Because I feel like if you were going to do it, this would have been the set. Mario Lands, make a full course, put side by side. I don't know. I feel like a Nintendo license would have to be a very, like, you'd have to be able to do a whole Secret Lair thing of just the characters to make it worth it. But not to say you can't do it, but I know Nintendo can be hard to deal with from various people in the industry. Fallout kind of took a beating from the multiplayer. I don't even remember hearing about that, so that must have been real bad. Thoughts on mechanically unique Secret Lair cards? They don't exist anymore. So there's not really an opinion to have, unfortunately, Aubrey. Like they're just not a thing. I mean, technically they'll be unique for what, like 5 to 6 months, they said. So like it's whatever. Like that doesn't bother me. If they were never going to be reprinted any other way, I would have a concern. But the fact that they're going to be available shortly thereafter, I don't really have a problem with it. I think that's totally fine. That feels normal. You know, feels reasonable, I would say even. I don't think that's a big problem. I mean, some people, like, here's the thing, and we were talking about this today. Like sometimes, and I'm not judging anybody in the chat, but as a community of Magic players, like sometimes we want to literally make mountains out of molehills, right? Wizards is like, hey, we need to do mechanically unique things, but they're only going to be mechanically unique for 6 months, and then we're going to make them available in these various ways, and we're going to make them hyper reasonable to get in the list slot and the set boosters and blah 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 blah, right? Okay, like as we've seen, the ones so far have not been stellar, right? Like it's not like people are out here running around playing all of the ones we got for Walking Dead, right? They were hot for like 3 weeks, and then you almost don't even hardly see them anymore. You know, people got the ones for Stranger Things recently. Only a couple people are even talking about putting them in decks from what I've seen. They just want to have them. So if they stay on that level, that's already a thing that like none of them seem like gangbustery good. And they're mostly only available for Commander, right? Some of them will show up in Vintage or Legacy, but not many. So I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. Like I know people, and you know, because I'm on the CAG, people are like, "What do you feel?" Like, it's not that big a deal. It's not. I mean, for every one deal that happens, 10 more fall by the wayside. I have a friend who works for Modifius, and they do nothing but license RPG. Oh yeah. It's always behind the scenes. I can tell you, even for regular small businesses, every person you talk to about doing a promotion, showing up at an event, doing this, that, and the other, at least half fall through, if not more. And nothing ever becomes of those discussions. So you just worry about the ones that hit. The Secret Lair concerns have repaired themselves. I'm okay with this outcome. They've been trouble fitting them into sets. Fine. Just ship mine before they start appearing in set boosters. That's fair. That's fair. I don't think that's a problem. I mean, I've gotten my stuff usually in about like a 3-month time or so, 3 to 4 months. And if you're going to reprint them in 6 months, that's fine. I can live with that. I don't have a problem with it. I know, so again, some people just like the fact that there's any uniqueness at all over regular cards, that upsets some people. And I get it. I really do. But it's not worth being, I don't know, just completely bent out of shape over. It's just silly. We have bigger things we could argue about. I don't like when a card is only in foil. There's still a bunch of partner commanders only in foil. Sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if over time they'll show up in the commander. There's going to be another Commander Legends or whatever set this year, I think. So there's a chance some of those will get reprinted in there. There's some of them there. They've already said over time, some of these are going to show up in the list, and the list will have non-foil versions of stuff. So you'll get them that way. I mean, again, I get it. Old foils were crap. They foiled up very easily. Even some of the ones recently that people got in Secret Lair, a few of those have some problems. So I get it. I don't know, maybe I'm lucky. I mean, I live in a place where even it's damp in the air a lot of the times, but mine have been mostly fine. I mean, I'm looking at the stack of foils I opened today, and there might be like one, maybe two that are slightly bent, you know. Overall, mine have kind of no issues. I have some sitting over here in a pile, and I can look at the pile and see maybe where there's like one raised bump, maybe two. So it's just kind of different. Yeah, I'm an etched foil person anyway. But again, I get that people are upset about it, and foils do matter to people. So I'm not trying to demean people's position. I know it matters to collectors and whatever. I'm an etched foil person all day, right? I don't like the glare from foils. I'm not like that in any game. Like any game that's had like matted foils in some way, I enjoy those much more than the shiny foils. Never been a thing. Like even when I see them across the table, I have to like pick them up to read them, or like I'm squinting, going like, is that a 3-4 or a 3-3? I can't really, like that happens a lot. So I'm not a fan. Not my thing. Never has been. But hey, obviously, always been a thing for other people. I've made a lot of money selling and trading foils to people, so I appreciate that some people like them. It's Commander Legends Baldur's Gate, so a bunch of the Commander staples along with theme stuff. That's cool. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Your Mischief came in great today. Yeah, some people, like I said, have no problems. The ones I've seen that I've gotten have had no issues, but other people have had bad issues. So I don't know what it is, but I will tell you from experience, if you get like between a 60 and 70% humidity packet, which you can just order on Amazon, they're not very expensive. You get packs of like 10 to 20 of them for a few bucks. You can put those in a deck box with your bent up foils or whatever, or in a Ziploc bag or whatever, and just toss them aside for like a couple weeks and then come back to them. And that does straighten your cards out. Sounds crazy, but it's definitely a humidity thing or whatever. And then once you get them flat, you just stick them in sleeves, you stick them in your deck box with your other cards and, perfect fits or whatever. And they hold their shape for the most part. So I would say definitely if it's a concern for you or it's a problem in your area, consider that. Like you can literally go to Amazon, just get humidity packets, stick them in with your cards, put them in something where it's sealed. Like I said, you want a deck box that closes tight, like a satin tower or something, or you want to put them in a Ziploc bag along with the humidity packet, and then just don't touch them. Just sit them on a shelf or in a drawer. Don't touch them for like 2 weeks, and then come back to it, and your cards are good. I don't know why it works. I just know that it works. I tested it, and every single one but one foil, which I believe was an old like retail promo foil that has like the 5 mana symbols in the foil in the text box. One of those dragons, I want to say from, it was the red-green one. That was a promo card or whatever from cons, I think forever ago. That was the only one it didn't work on. Every single other card straightened out. And I don't even know why that one, other than like it was just a different process and it was overly bent or whatever. But that's the only one it didn't work on. So it's definitely a thing that does work. So there's a solution for sure that doesn't cost you very much money if you want to solve it. Now, should we not have to do it whenever? Absolutely. I get it. Not saying that. I'm just saying there is at least a very low-cost solution available. You live in Scotland, and we have ridiculous humidity, and my badly curled foils aren't so bad. Yeah, see, that's exactly it, David. It's weird, because some people, like I lived in Texas in the heat. Sometimes they would curl, sometimes they wouldn't. Now, if you left them in the trunk of your car, man, I saw so many foils that ended up wrecked that way. So many. When collections got bought in, you would literally have a row that literally, like people joke about Pringles, but this literally looked like a row of Pringles, right? Like that would happen. But generally speaking, if you didn't leave them in the heat of your car, it wasn't a big deal. But some people like had bad foils, and I had almost none. Same thing up here in Washington. I know a couple of people that have some bad ones. I've had virtually none. Like I said, maybe 2 out of whatever, like 50 or something, or 100. So it's just weird. Greetings from America. My last name is Scott. Oh, you're talking to him. Could Wizards go back to the old foiling process? They were perfect. Though, that's the thing, Parks. That's what I'm saying. Like, over the years, I have seen some old ones that ended up very warped. And that's why I was confused when people were saying, like, oh, well, the old foils were great and the new ones are bad. And I'm like, I don't know. I've seen, in my luck, I've had very few new ones that are problematic, except for one of the sets. Some of the foils from Commander Legends, but I'm trying to remember what the other one was. There was one other recent set that was really bad. maybe Kaldheim. I don't know. Maybe the one before that, but whatever. One of those other sets was actually pretty bad for me. But generally speaking, the newer sets I haven't had a problem with. But I've seen a bunch of old cards that are curled. You know, like I said, the one card that didn't work with the Humidity Packet was an old card that curled, right? So I don't know what the ratio is, what the odds are. I don't know what affects it. And again, it could be where I live versus where somebody else lives, right? Like, and the more I thought about it, maybe that's the problem at Wizards. Maybe they can't figure it out because it's possible that everywhere they're testing their cards or in their testing environments or whatever, the process comes out fine. Because they obviously have changed it a couple of times. Because we've gotten really good. I would say since Commander Legends, I'm kind of looking over at the boxes I have sitting here and the stacks of cards I have. But like, since Commander Legends, I would say most of them have been pretty good. I mean, honestly, I've had almost no foil issues. But then randomly, like I said, a couple people got some Secret Lairs this week and the cards were foiled or bent. So I don't know. If you have some great foils, just immediately pack them well. Double sleeve the best. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know what to make of it, honestly. But that's the only thing I can figure is I could see a world where Wizards is like, okay, we'll change the paper or we'll change the ink or we'll change the heating process or whatever it is, you know, that they're doing to layer their foils. And then when they're done with their tests, they're like, okay, cool. 99% of these came out great. We tested them in these 3 or 4 environments. They came out great. Boom. And then people who have a weird biome from where they tested them, now they're like, I don't understand how my stuff's all foil. And somebody at Wizards is going like, I thought y'all tested them. And we did. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, boxes get stored in heat. And that's another thing too, Verdius. Like, that's something we've talked about. It's like each distributor has different conditions in their warehouses, right? Because some of them are up north. Some are down in the south. Some are closer to the equator. Some have AC in their warehouse. Some of them don't, right? Like some just sitting in the back of UPS trucks in the heat of summer in Texas for 10 hours till your box gets to your packages get delivered to your store or whatever, right? That could affect them. So even if they're great in the facility, they may not be surviving other conditions. So like, I don't know. I don't even know how to fix it. I have no idea. I mean, somebody at Wizards is definitely working on it. I can tell you that. And I know they are aware of it, but I don't know. I think it's a much harder problem to fix. Because here's the thing. I have also seen Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are in bad shape. I have also seen Pokemon cards that are in bad shape, right? So it's not just a Magic thing. I have definitely seen bent cards in a lot of other card games over the years. So I don't know what process is good or bad or works better or not. Like, I don't know. Like, but there's definitely a thing. There's definitely multiple elements that affect it, and I'm just not an expert to even know, to be honest. They're just cardboard. Don't expect those Metal Shark tokens. They are mass produced, so everyone can have some. Fair. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, it's a weird thing. David says, I've dealt with Forge World's resin, and it take curl cards that have cheap fixes over problems. Oh, yeah. Resin definitely has issues, especially when you're in the South and you start getting to dealing with the heat and other conditions. Also, if it gets too cold. I've seen issues with resin when it gets too cold as well. So it definitely has some problems with the material. Because, again, you're talking about shrinking and expansion and, how much they're getting banged around under each condition. Do they end up softer and getting dented by the time they get to you and cool back off? Like, there's definitely problems for sure. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And I get it though, right? If you pay a premium for a product, you would like for it to arrive in the best possible condition. And to some extent, Wizards does bring some of that heat on themselves, right? If they were cheaper priced, people would give you more slack, right? But because you charge a premium for it, people want premium presentation, right? And I get it. So they're not wrong in wanting that. How do you fix it? I ain't got a clue. Like, I'm glad it's not my job because I'm sure that has to be mind-numbing and difficult and painful to deal with the complaints and problems every day while you're legitly trying to fix it. And like I said, they've obviously changed something because sometime from around, like I said, going into Commander Legends and then coming out of that set, moving into the next set, I feel like once we got past Kaldheim, things felt a lot better. Got to work open and close tomorrow. Got to go. See you later, Parks. So, like, something changed that definitely was, at least for me, that's definitely better. Because fewer foils from the sets, like I said, after Kaldheim, have fewer issues. I think there was a little bit, no, because that set was fine too. Yeah, it's mostly after Kaldheim I started noticing it. But it definitely was bad on some foils and Commander Legends. Because even the ones that weren't bad for me in Commander, I at least saw more bending in that set than I saw of other sets. So I feel like they may have tried something with that set and immediately realized it didn't work. And then they didn't try it again. Because I feel like that had exceptionally more problems for people than a lot of other recent sets. Which may or may not be true, could be perception, but it definitely feels that way, that there were more complaints. So, I don't know. Have to jump because it's almost 2 a.m. Catch you later. Well, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you coming by, even for that long. But yeah, you know, kind of getting back on what we were doing today with this Kamigawa Neon Dynasty box. I'm still a fan of set boosters. I think set boosters are very good. I think it now, again, you can't draft with them. Well, you can, but like most people aren't going to draft with them or whatever. So it's just a matter of, do you want more cards you're probably going to play with? Because what I like about it is I'm getting fewer commons and uncommons. Or, well, fewer commons. You still get sometimes more uncommons. But I don't need a pile of commons, right? Even if I end up missing a third or fourth common out of my box, it's not a big deal for me to go pay 25 cents or 50 cents for a common I'm missing to finish a deck or whatever, right? I'd rather have more uncommons, rares, and mythics. And in this case, like I said, we got 6 more rares and mythics than we would get normally, even off of 24 packs, right? So we definitely hit more rares and mythics. We got more foil rares and mythics. We got a Karametra off the list, which we wouldn't get out of a regular box. We got some foil lands, special lands, and we got regular special lands that you get fewer of, or if you can even get them on all in regular draft boosters. And then we got this 2 signature thing cards on the art, right? So a lot of bonus value you wouldn't get out of a box for only about $15 more than I would pay for a regular booster box. So for me and my money, that's worth it. But it's also about where I'm purchasing my cards or how I plan to use them. Because a lot of them, like I said, I'm either going to play with or I'm going to trade or something along the way. So the general dollar value isn't a huge deal to me, but definitely is beneficial when we're talking about what I'm going to do with the cards down the road. But this is a set too. I also feel like cards are going to have value later this year as we add more artifacts and stuff in from the Brothers' War and whatever. I have a feeling there's going to be a couple of things in New Capenna that are probably going to work with stuff out of Kamigawa. I don't know that to be true, but for some reason I have this hunch that there's a couple of things there. I feel like there's a lot of cards that are worded a certain way that like just don't quite work right now, that something might come out later in the year. And then we've seen a lot of cards already being inspirational for people to build commander stuff with, right? So if that continues to be a case, this set has very good long-term value. And that's a good thing, especially when we're talking about cards like Beseju and some of the other rare lands, like Ganjo and whatever, right? Those are going to possibly just be good for a long time in every format. So the fact that those exist, I think it's very good. I think it's very, very good. So even though I'm not a fan of Kamigawa, being honest with you, I think this set hit all the marks for being a flavorful set, for having sweet artwork, for inspiring people to deck build. It definitely changed up standard play, which is a big deal. It got people reinvigorated in the game. Several retailers are talking about, you know, they haven't had a pre-release like this of excitement for, hell, since pre-pandemic even. You know, like, that's a big deal. People from every format, you know, are looking for cards from the set, which is also fantastic. So yeah, so I'm on board. I think this is a good thing. I think this set's did everything right. Verdia says, I bought a draft booster or draft box to squirrel away and eventually draft, but got myself a bundle to scratch it. I don't blame you. I think this is going to be so far, at least from what I've seen people say, this is a fun draft set for people. Enough that I am considering doing draft content for the first. Not saying I'm going to do it, but at least cross my mind. Because I have like 11 draft tokens and 2 or 3 sealed tokens still sitting in my arena account. But I considered it, you know, just because it seems that interesting. I have to ask because I mentioned the BattleBots reference. Do I have a favorite BattleBot? No, I don't actually. Like, it's actually funny because I put so many random references in my stuff that just comes to mind while I'm talking. So I never know who's gonna like respond or even if people even get any of the references, honestly. I almost used a clip from the dude, the announcer, because he's really funny. But yeah, I don't. Do I have a favorite? Do I have a favorite battle bot? Oh boy, if I had to choose, like if you were just putting my feet to the fire, and I don't know, maybe Sawblaze or Witch Doctor. If I had to choose, it'd probably be one of those. I mean, but for completely, I like Sawblaze just because, just the driver. Jameson goes very good. He's been good. If you do watch the Norwalk, is it Norwalk Havoc League? That's one of the Northeast organizations that runs robot fighting. They're very good. They have a bunch of stuff on. They just did their championship event, I think, last month. They have a lot on YouTube. You should check them out. But the Norwalk Havoc League has some stuff, and Jameson Go, he's been in that one too, doing very well. And I think just his driving is very good. I like the robot as a whole. You know, I like the technique of he can have different fronts on it, whether it's forks or the big shield, depending on the competition, without really affecting his driving at all, because his driving is one of the things that sets him up. And his saw hammer's just fantastic. Like, he's stuck that saw hammer and literally, like, he's gotten stuck in robots multiple times in fights where they've had to break him up, you know, and restart him. So that's pretty cool. And then Witch Doctor, I think, is just versatile. And, you know, and it's very unassuming. And I think that's also pretty cool, too. And it's driven by a younger woman, which I think is also good for the whole STEM community and whatever. So, yeah, either of those, I guess, if I had to choose, probably those two. Vlad the Impaler, I'm not so big. Son of Waiachi, though, was hot for a minute. Like, Son of Waiachi was like a feared bot for a long time. I think once people figured out how to combat that and drive up to it, you know, and at least just put your shield on it, and you could survive those first hit or two, then you just stay on top of it because they can't wind up. And I think that was the downfall of Son of Waiachi in a lot of combat. I think once people got the book on how to deal with it and didn't fear it as much, that was a problem. Because I think the first few times, the first couple of seasons, we're talking about like 2015 to 2017, I think people were fearing the big hit, and that changed how people drove around and fought it. But I think once you actually saw people having success, that changed kind of the trajectory for Son of Waiachi a lot, which kind of sucks for them because it is a pretty cool, like, legacy bot, if you will. But yeah, I don't know, it's probably way more talk than people expected for battle bots. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, watching robot battles is pretty sweet. I don't know how to build one. I'll probably never build one or never even drive one, because, you know, some of them are 200 pounds of machinery that probably cost several $1,000s. But I think it's neat to watch them. Anyway. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me for now, y'all. I'm going to have to organize these. I'm going to get this video over to my editor so we can put these up and have a video for people to watch on box opening. But yeah, this box was pretty good. So if you missed it, feel free to check out the video. It should be up probably in about a week. We'll get that in there. But in the meantime, see you later, West. But in the meantime, I am going to go work on a Magic gameplay video, so I'll have more to watch. So, yeah. Oh, you watched in the early 2000s. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Again, thanks for watching stuff. Be sure to like this video. If you hung out, hit the like button. That'll help us out a bunch. And, yeah, let people know about my channel. We're still constantly growing and doing fun stuff. And hopefully we can do things that keep y'all interested. Hopefully, like I said, I'm working on some Commander content. I've got another, Hidden Gems video that should be coming soon. A lot of different stuff. So I'm trying to work with my editor to get a few new things out for y'all. So hopefully it'll be stuff y'all appreciate and matter to you. And if you are a level 2 or higher subscriber, keep an eye out. I have a video coming for y'all soon. And yeah, otherwise, consider joining the channel and being a member. I do have some benefits there if you want to check those out. It's better than me having a Patreon because I can do it all right here on YouTube, and that's super meaningful. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all are super awesome. Hopefully we'll have some more emotes coming soon that y'all will get access to. Just lots of fun stuff coming around the corner. We got a lot of neat things happening. So I will see y'all around. As always, I love you wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please remember to take care of yourself with COVID and the flu and everything else. Stay away from humans for a little bit longer if you can.